Hello and welcome to our study stream, our 17th edition of our study stream. And what a day it is. Beautiful weather in Germany and in Potsdam, drizzling rain, gray clouds. There's no better option than to spend an afternoon with us here in our study stream about the topic new at the University of Potsdam. Welcome at the University of Potsdam. And we have a really nice guest with us today, and we will introduce him later. But first of all, some rules and regulations for our stream. You can check out our comments and you can ask questions if you like, but we would advise you to just ask general questions, no personal questions or specific ones. Specific questions can be sent to the Central Student Advisory Service. And the email address is studienberatung@uni-potsdam.de. So with me here today is Vera Yu, my great colleague from the Central Student Advisory Service. And next part is for you, Vera.
Thank you very much. And with me today is Christoph Bayer, also my great colleague from the Zentrale Studienberatung. And also we are more than happy that we have you here. We have Alexandra Tsiakalou from Greece, and we have Amitoj from India. Both are master students at the University of Potsdam. And you will introduce yourself a bit later. And we are really happy to have you with us. As you know, up to now, we only have one of our live streams, study streams in English, and this is the second one. So that's why we are very excited to have you here and learn more about how you as international students, experienced Potsdam, the University of Potsdam as the city as well as the university. So let's start with Alexandra. Please let us know briefly what made you come to Germany, Potsdam, and why the University of Potsdam?
Right, so hello, I'm Alexandra, I'm from Greece, and I'm a third semester master's student here at the University of Potsdam. I'm studying cognitive systems. I came to Potsdam because I was really interested in this specific program. And I also wanted to challenge myself by studying in a completely new environment and in a completely new country.
Yeah, and I think it is Europe, but still same, but different. And we elaborate on this later on. So Amitoj, what brought you here?
Hi everyone, my name is Amitoj. I am originally from India. I am studying Anglophone modernities in literature and culture at the University of Potsdam. After I completed my bachelor's, I just knew that I wanted to study abroad for better exposure and new opportunities. And of course, Germany stood out to me for its reputation for the education and health and opportunities. And University of Potsdam in specific, because the course that I have is really unique and it just aligned perfectly with my interest in studying about literature and culture. And of course, Potsdam is just really beautiful and I'm just very grateful to be here in this university.
Thank you so much also for all the compliments. Thank you so much. But we're also very excited to hear, what were your first impressions starting to study? And also, was there something that maybe surprised you in any way and maybe something that was not really known to you? Alexandra, do you have something that you might want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, most of my first impressions were very, very positive. I mean, the very first day that I came here, the very first thing that I saw was actually on campus. So it was the university grounds because I also live on the student dorms in Campus Gon. And so I was really impressed by, the infrastructure of the university. The building seemed really modern to me. I really liked how green and open everything was. And the other campuses as well, like Palais and Gribnica. Compared to back home, I really was impressed by that.
Well, you've been to our campus, right? Am Neuen Palais. It's not that modern. It's more historical, but still, I know what I can get you. Thank you. Amitoj, how was it with you, your first days at the university?
Actually, due to my visa issues in my first semester, sadly, I was still in India. But of course, when I came here, I would say the first impression, I mean, the palace, it's just insanely beautiful. The first impression was just like, oh my gosh, let me just make videos and send it to all my family groups to flex about it. And I mean, I'm going to share something embarrassing with you because initially I thought that the palace was the campus, because whenever you Google University of Potsdam, they show you the picture of the palace. And I was just so sure, and I just went there, and I had learned this from Duolingo, like some sentences, and the security guard was there, and I was like, hello, ich bin ein student in here. And he was like, ticket. And I was just thinking, why do I need a ticket to study here? And after like thinking for like 5 minutes, I realized that, okay, this is embarrassing. But yes, of course, the first impression, just to be here and to study in a place like this, like you just come out of your lecture hall and you just see this, the palace. It's just insanely beautiful.
That's a wonderful story. Thank you so much. And of course, we indeed use these pictures of the new palais in order to show where the university is located. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I hand over to Christoph.
Thank you very much. What a story. I mean, the other two campuses are really nice as well. So they're different, but nice as well. Amitoj and Alexandra, there are, I think, a lot of cultural differences between your home countries and Germany and Brandenburg and Potsdam, or Potsdam and Berlin area. Has there been an outstanding cultural difference or challenge you encountered and want to share with us? So was there anything really special you want to talk about it? And how was your experience adjusting to life in Germany? How did it happen for you both? Alexandra?
Yeah, for me, I can't say there has been any big and shocking cultural difference because Greece is also in Europe. And I think maybe for students coming from further away, like from different continents, maybe the differences might be more significant. Yeah, for me, it was just little things like, stores closing way too early in the evening, or adjusting to the weather, which is something I am still working on. But I guess it's even bad for people that live here, so German people. So yeah, other than that, I'd say I'm adjusting pretty well.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still adjusting to autumn weather and drizzling rain and 4 degrees still. Same for me. Amitoj, what about you?
I would say drastic cultural shocks. The first to begin with, I think air conditioners and ceiling fans are really very common in India. And here, like, you don't see them anywhere. And it's not a part of your accommodation. It's just like, whoosh. Because I think for me, even to listen to the sound of the ceiling fan was a part of my sleeping schedule. And it just breaks that. But I would say that opening windows for luften, and ventilation, it's like I'm getting used to it, and I would say it's pretty nice. Another cultural shock, I would agree with Alexandra. I would say that stores closing on Sunday, that is not a thing. That in my opinion, I was like, okay, Sunday is the day where everyone wants to go out and go to the stores and showrooms, and they're just closed. And on a positive note, I would say I really like the walking culture here. In India, it's not that much of a thing because everyone has their own, I would say, two-wheelers or four-wheelers. But here, people are walking, and I really enjoy that, yes.
Oh, so funny. I always thinking about the airing stuff, get air into your room. You have like 4 different ways or 5 different ways in Germany to do it. It's really important how to do it. And then if you look into your contract for your apartment, there's a like certain paragraph for it, how you have to air your apartment. It's it's really German. It's so funny. Amitoch and Alexandra, I have another question for you regarding like your whole welcoming at the University of Potsdam, but also in the city of Potsdam or in the whole region. So as international students, how welcoming did you find the University of Potsdam student services and the local community? Did anything or anyone in particular help you feel at home? Or would you suggest something that we can improve as a university or maybe as a society? Alexandra.
Right. So, I mean, regarding the student services, I thought that everyone involved with the international office specifically was very, very welcoming, because I happened to have some issues both before and after arriving in Potsdam, and I must have sent them like 100 emails, and they answered every single one much quicker than I expected. They were very eager to help, so that was nice. And I also like the buddy program that was organized and is still organized. I think that's a great initiative, and they made it very fun by organizing different events that were also not about meeting buddies. Actually, they were also about meeting your fellow international students, and that was actually how I met a lot of my classmates at the time. So that was before the official start of classes. So that was nice to have a bit of support before those officially started. Yeah, and I haven't really interacted much with the local community, to be honest, because my German wasn't, maybe still isn't, that good to do that. But I'm sure, I mean, my few interactions with them have been very nice, and they seem very kind and helpful as well.
Yeah, thank you. I think German language is a big issue here in the region. Amitoch, what about you? Any experience you want to share?
Yeah, I actually agree with Alexandra. Even when I was in India, like I said, because of the visa issues, I remember sending so many emails to the international office because I needed so many details. I was really confused about so many things, and they did respond. And I remember sending them, I don't know, 30, 35 emails or what. And definitely, the people here have been really helpful. And for example, for my course as well, we have a WhatsApp group, and all the seniors there try their very best to help the first semester, second semester students, because even the course guidelines, it's really different from what we already have. For example, what I had in India. So it's important to understand everything, and it's nice to see that people are just there, and professors as well. You just email them, and they are very helpful and available all the time. So really nice.
Thank you so much. So many flowers for everyone at the University of Potsdam, for our professors, fellow students, and for the international office. That's really nice. So Vera, next part is for you.
Yes, thank you. Now we are in the field of academic and social experience, and you already shared something. We actually wanted to know whether or not this is a new teaching and learning culture for you. Maybe yes, maybe not. What was new? What was maybe heavy to understand? What was very light to understand? What was different? What did you enjoy? I mean, you shared already something, but maybe Alexandra, maybe you elaborate a bit for us on cognitive systems as well. What made you choose this program, and why the University of Potsdam?
Yeah, so my background is actually in the humanities. So I studied linguistics for my bachelor's back in Greece. But I was always interested in tech, and then that led me to computational linguistics, which is linguistics and computer science. So yeah, I wanted to do a master's degree in the area for a while. But I mean, I also applied to other universities in Potsdam, in Germany, but the University of Potsdam was my first choice. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here now, because I really liked how interdisciplinary the program was. Because I guess this cognitive systems falls under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, but it involves so many other things, like, I mean, not only linguistics, but cognitive science and psycholinguistics and machine learning. So other universities in Germany might focus on one or maybe two of those, but here they kind of allow you to choose your own path and combine courses according to your interests. So I found that very attractive for a program. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here now. I guess compared to Greece, the academic environment might be a little more intense in a way. And yeah, I'd say the expectations are that your learning has to be a bit more self-directed. So you have to be more proactive and independent when it comes to your studies. So I guess in the beginning I was used to a bit more structure regarding that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the insights. I think this is really important for international students to know that you have to be more proactive than maybe you were in your home countries. So Amitoj, maybe you can share some insights. How is your studies now? How are your studies now compared to your bachelor degree from India?
Oh, yes. I would say it's a big difference. And especially because the course that I have here, it does not require me to, for example, pass the exams. I have to write papers, like research papers and stuff like that. So it is not about, you know what I'm saying, right? That sitting in an exam hall for 3 hours, that's not a thing here. And when I say that is also a point that I wanted to mention, that because this course supports so much, I don't know, independent research, it is really interesting. And even though it has a very oddly specific name, Anglophone Modernities in Literature and Culture, it includes so many things. I have had psychology, sociology, philosophy, like concepts of each field, which just makes it so interesting. And that's what made me come here. Definitely, yes.
Wonderful. I think you both also showed that both your master degree programs are very interdisciplinary, and they really touch a huge and complex field of also touching other research areas. So it's not only focusing on one thing, but really widen your perspective, if I may sum up. Thank you so much. And Amitoj, you also you started already talking about your interaction with academic personnel at the University of Potsdam. How was it so far? Being involved into the learning and teaching culture at the University of Potsdam, is there anything that you want to share inside and outside the classroom? Outside also, have you joined any activities, any study group, any events, anything that you think might be interesting for international students to know, and the others as well? Amitoj.
Actually, last semester, I participated in this boxing class in the university sports program, which was really nice because, of course, it was a very new thing for me and I wanted to try something totally different that I had never done in my whole life. And initially, I was a bit, I don't know, skeptical because in the first class, I noticed that I was the only brown person there. And I was also thinking that the other people were more experienced. But then I thought that, you know what, the class said that it's also beginner level, so it's okay. And the instructor there was so nice. And you know what, the whole thing was, of course, in German, but there were some girls there who would just come to me and translate it in English. I didn't even ask, but they would just offer some help, and even the instructor. So I would definitely recommend to participate in things like these, because there you get to meet so many people, not just from University of Potsdam. Actually, there were some students who were from different universities in Potsdam, and that actually helped me interact with more people and connect with more people. And of course, so many other activities and clubs. Definitely, it's a great way to find new people and connect with new people.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this new idea of combining boxing and German class in one. That's really something. Alexandra, do you have something to share with us, maybe?
Yeah, I will actually agree with Amitoj. I found the sports courses very fun here. Although I have never tried boxing, sounds nice and like a nice way to take out your frustrations about German, if it also combines that. My favorite has been bouldering, which is also in English and is also international. So I've met a lot of people doing that, and it's been my favorite activity so far. And yeah, I've also socialized a lot with my classmates because we support each other a lot, and we have made a lot of study groups throughout the year. and helped each other with assignments. So also inside the classroom, there have been many opportunities to connect with others.
And if you say there are many opportunities to connect, how is it? Were you like really practical? Were you sitting in this like the seminar room and then you look to your left and you just ask somebody, or was it, how was it to find a study group, find it people joining you, or were you proactive asking for somebody to join you, or did somebody ask you?
I mean, I tried to be. Usually we also have a group, a WhatsApp group, or rather a Telegram group to communicate with each other. So a lot of those groups were made through there. But also we all kind of know each other, so it was easy to organize things like this and support each other. And also because we're all from we come from different backgrounds. Some of us are linguists, some of us are computer scientists. So everyone was really consciously helpful. Like they really wanted to help other people with what they didn't know.
Wonderful and good to know. I mean, maybe international students are watching this one day, and even before they plan on studying at the University of Potsdam, and then maybe this gives them some sort of insight in how to connect with people and how will it be, sitting in a classroom, not being alone. Because now in Germany, it's November. It's like the darkest time, as you say, adjusting to the weather. It's raining. It's getting cold. Missing the family. Missing the country. Missing air condition. So this might be a time where it's really good to know that by now, if you start your semester and at the beginning of October, you might really already find somebody to study with, or maybe to boulder with, or even boxing. So thank you very much for this very helpful insight, and I hand over to Christoph.
Guys, thank you so much for all your stories and all these different special, really interesting insights into your studies. You've told so much, and when you look at the time you have been here in Potsdam at the university, what has been the most exciting or rewarding part of your studies so far? Is there a specific project or a course or event, or maybe I don't know, someone you have met during your studies, or a special professor, or I don't know, a certain student party or club? Is there anything what was outstanding in your time, during your time here in Potsdam, Alexandra?
Yeah. Okay, so that's a bit of a difficult question for me because I just find all of it very rewarding and exciting. But a lot of it is little things. So, because of my non-technical background, I often find some classes that are directed at computer science is very difficult. And so, little things like making a breakthrough in understanding something, or like passing a class, that feels like a big win to me. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't done any massive projects yet that would be worth mentioning, but that's probably something that is coming in the future.
Thank you very much. Amitoj, was there any outstanding, most rewarding part of your studies so far?
I would say that the most exciting part is studying with such a diverse international group. Like even just in my course, there are people from all over the world. I don't know, Canada, Australia, US, and if we are just talking about South Asian, I've made Pakistani friends, Sri Lankan friends, and it's just nice. And then you are also exposed to so many different opinions and perspectives. And just by being in the class, you can learn a lot, because there are so many different people. And for a project, a specific project, I mean, I'm just thinking about it. It's because it's pretty recent, because in one of our classes, we were asked to analyze any piece of literature or a movie or music from our own mother tongue, and to analyze it using some theories. And I analyzed a Bollywood movie called Queen using post-colonial and feminism perspective. And I got a grade which was 1.3. It was very rewarding for me because it was really nice to see the feedback of the professor and yes, the professors as well here, they're just so nice. Like when you give them your different opinion or something, they're listening to you. They're very interesting. They're very interested in what you are saying and what you want to write about. So that's definitely rewarding.
It sounds so nice. Really nice stories about your paper you have written. Sounds really good, interesting. And yeah, I think that it's really special if you attend a course where so many different people from all over the place meet and exchange their views about like the science and about the topics and the subject and about news perspectives. Is really, really rewarding. But Amitoj and Alexandra, if you look back, maybe with your experiences now, if you look back at the time before you have chosen to come to Germany, what are the three things? What is one thing that you would say, if I only had known? So is there any information you would like to have had before you were coming to Germany, or before you have decided to come to choose the University of Potsdam as your university for your master's degree program? Is there anything you want to share with us? Was there anything you wish we had prepared differently before you choose Germany or the University of Potsdam? Alexandra, is there anything you want to share?
Well, let's see. I definitely would have learned more German because when I came here, I had already self-studied a bit, so I was maybe A1, so that was enough to understand, you know, the basic science and like that, but not to interact with German students and like the local community. So that was a bit, I could have done that better. Yeah, it was a bit sad that I was only limited to this sort of international bubble. And I would have bought good winter clothes a bit earlier. That's a good investment.
Okay, language and some clothing, really thick clothing for our beautiful German winter. Amitoj, anything you would like to add?
I would say knowing the importance of organizing housing in time, because accommodation here is pretty difficult, I would say. And if you are not fortunate enough to get a place in one of the dorms, then you really, really need to be aware of other ways where you can find accommodation, because it gets pretty difficult. And yes, of course, with the language thing and the winters as well, you have to adapt to it. And what else? I think, yeah, to just come to a place, especially if we are talking about Potsdam, to just know that Berlin in the beginning seems too much, but it's also nice. Sometimes it has a bad reputation, but it's also nice. So I would say to come here, being a bit more open to every city, I would say. And I think to take really good advantage of your ticket, the Deutschland ticket. Yeah, people should have, I don't know, something so that you can already plan something and then book a Flix train, because if you book it 1 month early, it's going to be like 50% rate. So that's a good advice.
Yeah, the Deutschland semester tickets is really, really, really nice thing to have to like go everywhere we would like to go all around Germany. It's really nice. You've already talked about language, which is really interesting, because my next question would be about a language. And you said that you might have learned more German before you moved to Germany, Alexandra. How about are you still in a class to learn, to improve your German, to learn more German? Is it a thing, or is it like, you know, living here in Potsdam or in Berlin, it's really easy to come around with English? So what do you do with your German knowledge? Are you improving or not, Alexandra?
So I am currently taking a B1.2 course at CESCO. which I can definitely recommend because the courses there are wonderful and free for students, and the teachers are really great as well. That being said, my German could definitely be better because, as you said, I mean, even though we live in Germany, while you're at the university or on campus or even in Berlin, you know, you don't really need German. It's not absolutely essential. It is better if you know at least a little bit, like an A1 level, but you can definitely survive without it. But the more German you know, the easier life in Germany gets. Of course, you know, you can talk to more people and go to more places and be more easily understood. And it's also really important for handling formal situations. So like if you want to open a bank account or, you know, sign a contract or go to the doctor or deal with your health insurance, those things can mostly be done in German. It's really difficult to get them done in English. So yeah, I'm trying to better my German as much as I can. And I can really recommend doing so to anyone else as well.
Thank you, Amitoj.
My German I would say it's still a work in progress, definitely. When I came here, I knew a bit of basics, and I did take a course here at ZESCO in the university, which was really helpful, but I was not consistent enough, so I didn't take the next part. But of course, I would say it is important, yes, but you can survive with the basics as well, especially in an international city like Berlin. But if you are also living in Potsdam, I lived in Potsdam for 4 months. It was, if I compare it with Berlin, it was a bit more difficult in Potsdam because people want you to speak German. And of course, I get it. It's like respecting their culture. So I understand that as well. And of course, to build new connections, it would come in handy, and informal situations like Alexandra mentioned, definitely it's good to know. And some terms are really, really hard, of course, like the bank terms and stuff. You just don't. So you have to get at least the gist of it to be able to read your emails as well. Not emails, but mails in your mailbox. You get so much. And then if you don't know anything about Germany, anything about German language, then it's too much for you. So yes, I mean, don't put that much pressure on yourself, I would say that, but be a bit more consistent, which I am not. I have to be as well. And just step by step, and then it gets better. Or you can also, I don't know, get a German boyfriend who can just roast you whenever you say something wrong. So you are learning better. That's a good way. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Amitoj and Alexander. So to sum it up, it might be not the worst idea to learn a bit of German coming to the University of Potsdam or to Germany in general. So German is quite not essential, but it's good to have some knowledge in your, you know, to get along in life. Okay, Vera, I think the next part is for you. So I hand over to you.
Thank you, Christoph. So that means for us, as the two of you are working with us, that we speak more German with you in the near future. Well, we tried, for example, with the German Übergangsjacke or with the Einwilligungserklärung. We have all these like really, really complex German words. And yeah, so we'll talk more German with you in the near future. And talking about improving German, we would know at the end of our study stream, you know, in sort of like hindsight and future perspective at the same time, what would you say studying abroad at the University of Potsdam? You mentioned parts of it already. How would you say did this impacted your professional as well as personal growth? Maybe Alexandra, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, on a personal level, living and studying here, well, it has really pushed me and really forced me out of my comfort zone because, you know, moving to a new country for the first time, it's also been my first time living alone, and then interacting with people from around the world, from different cultures. Yeah, I feel like this has made me become more independent and more adaptable to new environments for sure. And professionally, I mean, I've also had many opportunities to develop my skills, from the obvious, like programming skills at my courses, but also how to organize projects from the beginning to end, how to work in a team, how to work solo, and then the different aspects also of conducting research, which I wasn't really exposed to in my bachelor's. I'm really grateful for that as well. And yeah, I've gotten lots of insights into career opportunities that I wouldn't really have gotten if I had stayed in my home country. So yeah, that has been really great.
Wow, thank you. That's these are like treasures that you can only get if you, as you said, get out of your comfort zone and try something. Wow, that's really impressive. Thank you. Amitoch, please.
I mean, I I lived in my hometown in India for I think 22 years of my life. I never went to hostels, and coming to a whole different country was like a big transition for me. And definitely living here, I would say, has been transformative for me personally. The personal growth that I've had just in 1 year living in Berlin, it's been insane. I can feel it. The people around me can feel it. The level of confidence and how much independent you feel, because of course you have to do everything on your own. It sounds scary, but it is very rewarding. It is really, it helps you know so much about yourself and about University of Potsdam. Oh, definitely. I got so many opportunities. I remember I got an opportunity to work as an English tutor in a high school in Potsdam. And that opportunity was forwarded to us by one of our professors, because it's also like, I think the institutions are connected with some of the job profiles, and they want to hire people, for example, who are already studying masters at University of Potsdam. So I would say definitely, personally and professionally, the opportunities that I've gotten since I came here, insanely helpful.
Wow, it's good to know that, like, parallel to your professional growth and why you came here. Firstly, the first reason was to join a master degree program, but the thing is that actually your personal growth really could profit from this in like a max version. So I'm really impressed by this, and hopefully for all the other international students who plan on studying here, or they are studying already here, this might be helpful to know. And plus, I wanted to add that we are working in the frame of UP Transition. That's a program especially for example, international students, but also having the focus on diversity. But we will focus on international students, and we will, all of us here, we will initiate more projects for international students in English. And thank you very much for joining us for the second English speaking stream. And one last tip, or besides clothes, boxing, bouldering, we learned from you so much, but one last tip or venue or like a favorite ice cream you want to share before we are going to close. Please, Amitoch, maybe? Please start.
But I would also definitely say to take advantage of all the student services that the university is providing, because for me as well, the counseling, the mental health counseling for international students, I discovered it pretty recently, and I also had a really helpful session with one of the psychologists there. But the thing is, when we come here, we are not very aware about all of these things. So this would be one of my tips. And okay, you wanted to know more about something related with ice cream. There are such nice places in Berlin, I would say, and in Potsdam as well. If the studies are getting too much for you, just take a walk in Park Sanssouci. It's just so nice that it's just there with the palace. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Amitoch. And last but not least, Alexandra.
Yeah, I mean, I was also going to say the same thing about student services, because so many people I've talked to, especially international students, are just not aware that there is so much help about anything like that, from the mental health counseling, as you said, and then the career service as well, or even the Studierendenweg has many opportunities. So I'd say stay up to date, get familiar with the websites of the university so you can find that info more easily. And for a tip, again, I'm not sure about ice cream either, but I will say, I mean, for people studying in Bonn, I mean, at this time of the semester, everything is packed. You know, the typical places you would hang out in, so the library, the cafeteria, the mensa are really full with people. So there's another place that's kind of like a hidden gem. This is the Lese Cafe in House 14, which is a place organized and sustained by students, and you can get drinks for very cheap or meet other students. And I think they also organize workshops and parties. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that exists. And I always like to recommend it.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. These are all treasures to us, and to know this and to know you both. So we are more than happy that you work with us in the next year. And for the international students, please stay tuned. There are more events and workshops coming up in English. And I hand over to my lovely colleague, Christoph.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vera. Thank you very much, Alexandra and Amitoch. It has been a pleasure to have you here on our stream. It was so rewarding to hear all your stories and your experiences you made at the University of Potsdam and Berlin in general. And thank you to the viewers that you have joined in today. If you have more questions about anything you have just seen or questions that came up during the stream, feel free to get in contact with the Central Student Advisory Service via email, via Zoom, via telephone. Choose your way. As Vera just said, we have so many stuff in the books and in the planning for you, for our international community, for our English-speaking community, because we're just getting started with so many offers in English. So there will be workshops in English on motivation and decision making in the next year, and there will be, of course, podcasts produced in English for you as well. And I heard that there might be some kind of Christmas event going on for international students. So stay tuned, check your emails to find out more about all these events. Our next study stream will take place on 30th of January, so next year after the Christmas break, and it will deal with teaching degrees with a Lehramtsstudium. It's in German again, but still, if you want to, check in, feel free to have a view. Thank you very much. Again, Alexandra and Amitoch for joining us. It was a pleasure. I had a really nice time. It was really interesting. And yeah, bye to our viewers. Have a nice weekend and a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Stay tuned.
Bye. Thank you.